Good morning. Feels kind of like the day after the big party. Hey, it's Care. Welcome to my Tech at the Lake. Thank you to everyone who joined in last night for this kickoff of the virtual trick-or-treat event. Much appreciated. So many great comments, and it was so fun to watch the other girls' videos. If you're new to this story, myself, Amy at Doki Doki Forest, and Carrie at Carrie's Mixed Media Art are all doing a virtual trick-or-treat event for 4 days of Halloween. Started yesterday, continues today through midnight on Halloween night, Tuesday night. And that means you can go to each of our channels and there will be links that you can go to get free Halloween digitals. And I have to say, the other girls' stuff are so fun. It's so fun. I think we run the gamut. Our styles are so very different, but that's what makes it fun. You know, you get Twix and licorice and Starburst and a toothbrush. Like, everybody gives different things at trick or treat, which is part of the fun. You don't know what you're going to get till you get home and empty out that bucket. And then you have your favorites, and then you know, there's always something you don't like in there. But that's not the case with this virtual one. With this virtual one, it's all good. There are no stinkers in it. So please stay tuned, because there's going to be a bonus, at least one bonus. There may be more. I don't know. I can't say for sure, but for sure one bonus trick-or-treat goodie that I'll talk about during the course of this craft with me. Today I'm gonna try something a little bit different, so that, I don't know, I'm just gonna try something a little bit different. I'm gonna do my craft with me. What you're seeing here are the pages of the kit that I made last year for myself. I made a similar kit for Etsy, so if you're looking for something fast and easy, this is print and go. This doesn't look like this. My printer was running out of ink, but I really liked how it turned out with the stripes and the purple, and I really liked it. It's very vintage. It's supposed to look like that. but I thought it came out pretty cool. This page is supposed to be trippy like that. But I made a kit. I will link it below, of course. I'll link yesterday's video below too, so you can go and get last night's freebie as well. Anyway, it's fold and go. I print borderless on a regular 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper and just fold it in half, and I'm off and running. But these are the pages I'm showing you. It's a pretty big kit. Of course, you don't have to print all the pages. You can just print a few of the pages. But what I did last year is I made the kit, and then Halloween was over, and so I didn't do anything with them. I'll show you more about these pages when I get to the pages part of my project. Right now, the part of my project that I'm on, because like I said, all I did was make the kit and print it last year, and then next holiday. So what I'm doing today is I'm going to make it a journal. I'm going to make that kit into a journal, starting with a cereal box that I've already cut to size. Truth be told, I started this first thing when I got up. I thought it'd be a good idea to get a jump start before I had any coffee, and I cut it wrong. I cut it to the size of my paper, not the size of the cover. Whoopsie. Good thing I use a lot of this blueberry cereal. It has blueberries in it, blueberry midnight. So I have a lot of these boxes. So this I cut on my craft mat with a utility knife to 9 by 6. The covers are 6, so that when I fold my pages in half, and put them in, they fit. I have a little bit of leeway top and a little bit of leeway all the way around. And if you're looking real close, it's not terribly straight. Even on the second go, it wasn't terribly straight. I don't know what happened here. The rest is pretty good. So that's what I'm going to do first, is I'm going to work on the cover. So I started with a cereal box. I cut all the pieces and parts off, but I love these strips because they're nice and straight. And this has this, you know, handy dandy flap on it. So what I'm thinking is I'm going to keep it, cut it down, or maybe fold it like that and have a bookmark. If I glue that in, I have a little tuck spot. This I also might make into a long tall Sally type, a long skinny. I have tons of strips of things that I've torn off that are about this size that I'll staple a whole bunch of them together and attach them in here. And then I'll have a bookmark with notes in my journal. So that's what I'm using this for. These little skinny strips that I cut off, I think will come in handy for something. I'm not sure what exactly, so I'm just going to hang on to them. My first thought is tabs, easy peasy tabs, but I'm not sure. Speaking of tabs, the tops and the bottoms always look like tabs. Get that out of the way. You know, they're already pre-made tabs for you. You know, stamp them up, cut them to size, or fold them in half and glue them on the page that way if you want to have tabs at the top or the side. So I save all these all cut out, same thing, they look like file folder tabs already, so why reinvent the wheel, right? You've got tabs already and they're already all set. So there's that. These I don't really have any ideas for just yet. They're kind of small, but I'm not going to throw them away until I'm done because I'm keeping the one. I only have 3, so there's that. And then this little guy, this would make a great, wouldn't that be a fun shape to work in? Kind of like a round journal, just totally different shape and size. It's already got a spine. It's a little bit big, but if I were going to do that, I would cut that in half and glue those. Well, let's just do it, because I may just do it. So I'm going to fold it in half. Care this isn't getting your Halloween journal done. I know, but you know, it's all part of it. So I have a general middle there. I'm just going to cut that and then glue those 2 spines together, and now it's a more manageable width of a spine, and that spine is now doubled in thickness, so it'll be a lot stronger. So if you sew in your little, you only have to use two hole pamphlet stitch. I don't even know if there is such a thing, but sew it in there and then have either work on it this way or work on it. I think working on it this way would make a really good challenge, so I may just keep that aside, and that'll be, instead of a round journal next, which I've already started, I already got some things going for my next round journal, but I've already done a round journal. I haven't done one of these, so I'm gonna hang this right here next to it. We'll come back to it. So I'm going to put all my little scrappy pieces aside, and I do have one more lid flap thing. And what I'm going to do to my cover, the outside of my cover, I have a couple of ideas. One for the front, one for the inside. So the front I'll come back to, but I found this really cool shirt in my basement. It's not mine, it's a friend of mine's. He left it here and never came back for it, so I'm gonna cut it up. You know, you can't leave stuff behind at a junk journaler's house. You just can't, because it's gonna get destroyed. But I'm gonna use this as the inside of my journal somehow, some way. And I'm gonna use some of this beautiful gray for tabs. Not 1 inch of the shirt's gonna go to waste. Maybe the cuffs and the neckline, but other than that, it's all gonna get used. I love that color gray. But that's coming up next. The idea I have for the front, I saw, and I finally heard her say her name. I think she said Noit. I always say know it, because, you know, that's how my English accent works. Know it. But I think she said Noit. Noit Art. N-O-I-T. She took masking tape and just put it all over a cover and then painted it, and it turned out so cool. I think she was doing an art journal, but we're going to do, because I think this will be nice and fast, I am going to paint it, and that's going to take some time to dry, so, you know, it's not instant like I like, but I'm going to put a long piece on that spine because it's exactly the right width, and that will strengthen my spine. I want wrinkles in it. The more wrinkles, the better. So I'm going to put a few more pieces on this spine, again, just to thicken it up, strengthen it, because it is, after all, just cereal box, and those, like everything else, are getting chintzier and chintzier. I'm just gonna make sure that I get wrinkles in there just by wrinkling it up, pushing it down. I'm gonna do that all over, so bear with me here for a minute. What I'm doing different wise, craft wise, I thought about going live for a few hours and getting this done, but there's so much dry time and wait time in between, and I got stuff I gotta do. So here's what I'm thinking. I'm gonna do this part of it. I'm gonna get it as far as I can, as fast as I can, here with you now, and then I'm gonna upload that and go clean while that's uploading and my stuff is drying, and then do another video, and then do another video, and hopefully you'll pop in and pop out just like a live, you know, if you don't have time to stay. But this way it's not live, you're not going to miss anything. You can pop in and pop out during the day and see the progress and see what's next. And hopefully, you know, the whole idea of sharing this whole process with you is maybe sharing some things that I do that you haven't seen before, or that you didn't know about, or that you think are, you know, might speed things up for you, or that you want to try. Just because we're doing this, I'm going to put some in here too. This isn't Tyvek, obviously, so it's not super strong, but I don't see my Halloween journal really needing to survive the apocalypse, so I'm not going to worry too much about it. But I do want it strong enough to hold all the junk I'm going to put in it, because I am going to fill it with junk. One more here on the spine, and then we're going to call it. You know, and after a lifetime of trying to get the tape, like when you're painting walls or whatever, trying to get it laying just right, this making it crooked is kind of, it's a bit of a challenge. All right. It still folds nice. Whenever I add something like this, I always kind of retrain those folds a little bit so I don't have trouble later. Not that I would have any trouble. All right. And this is new to me. I've not done this before, so I'm learning as I go. I think smaller pieces might work better. It's easier to get them all wrinkled. And I'm going to overlap on those edges because I want nice strong edges. And I think I want my wrinkles going this way, like this. So instead of putting them this way, I'm gonna switch things up a little bit. And that way my wrinkles will go horizontally, you know, as if it's some old leathery something or other that's cracked and worn. And I'm kind of offset a little bit, so I want to make sure and get tape on the whole thing here and there. Ew, it's already grungy and messy, and any place there's not enough wrinkles, I think I'm just going to put on another piece and add some wrinkles. Oh, we do have fun with our toys, don't we? Like to overlap them a little bit too. There's about no wrinkles there. In your mind, now that I'm going this way, longer pieces are working better. I'm going to attach it at the top and fold it over and just kind of wrinkle it down as I go. That seems to be a little bit easier. I'm always looking for easier, faster, less irritation, less stress. I'm all about that. This is really good for my hyper perfectionistic tendencies too. You can't make this perfect. You just can't. I'd like to put metal corners on this, so I'm going to put a piece of tape on this edge to protect the edge, but I'm going to leave the corners empty so that the metal corner things that I have fit. You don't want to get them too thick, and there's going to be a piece of material in there too, so I want to make sure to try and leave room, because I have made journals where I thought, oh, I'll put corners on, and the cover's too thick. It doesn't work. So there. There's probably an easier way to do this, but I don't know it yet. I'll figure it out eventually. If you know it, shout it out. That'd be awesome. Because I imagine there might be another Halloween journal in my future, although I wouldn't want the same cover on all my journals. So not a lot of action going on there, so I'm going to put some. Now I have a couple big flaps here that I think will be problematic in the end, so I'm just going to tape over them. Brayers, they're not just for gel plate printing. When I make my altered books, I learned from somewhere, and I have not been able to find the video that I watched or who did it. I just don't even have a clue. But that person used a brayer after she glued the decoration to the altered page. And it's like magic. It looks like the addition is part of the original page. It's crazy what a difference it makes. So I'm going to take my brayer and brayer this tape down in all kinds of directions for a number of reasons. To kind of get those three-dimensional bits a little bit under control. I want texture, but I don't want three-dimensional things that are sticking out. I want texture, but not movement. Like this flaps around, it's sticks right up. That would drive me bonkers, and so I'm just gonna stick it down. Masking tape, if you've ever masking taped anything and put it outside or put it in the basement for any amount of time, you know that it doesn't last very well. So I want to make sure that it's adhered really well to the cereal box. And this will help that. Of course, it's flattening those creases down a little bit, which I want. Getting any air out of where I might have not squashed it enough. So there's all kinds of good reasons to brayer this. And it makes it nice and flat. I want to see the texture, I just don't want to have to deal with it. Okay, might as well do this side too. I'm quite hesitant, to be honest, to do masking tape in the construction of a journal, because as it ages, especially this is just masking tape. It's meant for one-time use, and that's it. So it's not archival in any way. Not that this again has to withstand the apocalypse, but it gets brittle and it doesn't stick. And so when I see people constructing their journals with masking tape, I just worry, but look at me go. What I'm going to also have on here, the next thing we're going to do is paint this, and then there's going to be material here, so hopefully all of the things will hold together. I just ironed the creases with my brayer a little bit, again making sure that that cover is trained so it folds nicely all the time. So this is the fun part. They're all fun parts, right? My little plastic palette. It's just a 50-cent plate from Walmart in a neutral gray. Fabulous palette for craft paint, which is what we're doing next. For old grungy stuff, I like, of course, black. But black is pretty, pardon the pun, dead. You know, it just lays there and it's sort of dull. So I always add a little bit of brown and a little bit of blue. Dark blue, navy, deep dark blue. And that's going to be my black background. Now, normally I would use a brush. I'm way better with brushes than I am sponges, but Noe did hers with a sponge. And I'm just going to try it and see how it goes. You know, you got to try new things, whether you like them or not sometimes. We'll see how it goes. I'm going to go pretty heavy-handed because I don't want to do 87 coats. I want to do more of this. So what I'm doing, I've got a lot of black, and then I dipped into the brown, and now I'm just going to dip a little corner into the blue and add that in there too. Brown and blue make a fabulous black. And you might not be able to see the other colors, but it just gives the whole thing more depth, more life than just one black color. Oh, I have another lifty piece. I had some of the greatest comments last night from the kickoff of the virtual trick-or-treat event. Janice G said, every time you said centerfold, she was crocheting while listening to the video. She said, every time you said centerfold, I pictured a skeleton on a bear rug in front of a empty Gothic fireplace. What a fabulous visual. I love that. That's so hilarious. And it's perfect. 'Tis the season. And Jean, I'm so happy to hear that Jean Bainey said she printed off the free printable from my trick-or-treat event, and I think her words were printed as instructed, and it turned out perfectly. She's gonna give it to her grandson in his goodie bag for Halloween, which is fantastic. I want to make sure that I'm getting all sides of it because there's so much dimension. I don't want to have any white spots. This is working out pretty well. Better luck than I've had in the past with sponges. So far so good. Oh, I'm loving it. It's looking like old leather already. I'm thinking, of course it's way early in the game, but I'm thinking of some of those three-dimensional stickers I got from Jean Bainey, that little apothecary one that I just absolutely love. I think will be perfect somewhere on the cover. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to keep painting this, and then I'm going to let it dry. And when this is dry and I can do the next step, I'll come back, start recording again, and post that video. So it's going to be like my own personal video hop. This one, and then the next one, and then the next one. I thought it'd be easier for everyone if I just did these little videos, lightly edited, by the way. They won't be as heavily edited as I normally do, so bear with me, so that I can get more done. And I'm going to, as these are uploading, clean. And I'll be back. I hope you join me for the next one and for the next step. The next step, we're going to talk about what's next for the cover, for the front, and for the middle. Excuse me, the inside of the cover. And we're going to talk about pages and probably the bonus trick-or-treat freebie that I have for you. Stay tuned. We'll see you soon. Happy haunting.